What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Rob Van Dam. Listen to True Heel Heat. Pow.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for our WWE NXT No Mercy 2025 preview. Breaking down this Saturday show from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as NXT returns with their latest premium live event on Peacock, and we're going to discuss the big 6-match lineup that they got going on for this Saturday. And to do that, I am joined by one of my favorites in the wrestling media game, one of my favorite podcaster extraordinaires and freestyle expert as well. You see his work over at the Wrestling Republic. He is the main man. Shaddy, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. It's always a pleasure to be on True Heel Heat, man. Y'all are like the extended family for me. I feel like the Capadonna of the Wu-Tang Clan and y'all over here. So it's always good, man. And yeah, man, they call me the Tuesday Night Delight, NXT off the air. Salute to the bro Drizzy in the comments as well. I watch a thing or two about NXT, and I'm excited to do this, man, to bring my knowledge and expertise over to you so we can hopefully get all these predictions right.
I'm pretty good at the prediction game. I tend to always tell people that the SP3, the P in SP3 stands for predictions, because I'm so good at predictions. So no, I usually have a 50-50 type record. Some shows I'm really good on, I'll get all of them right. Some shows I'll get all of them wrong. But
I try not to think of it like sports betting, because I'll be like, man, I'm gonna just go with the underdog just to if I'm right and I'm the only one right, then I feel like the smartest guy in the room at that point.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
well, we got a bunch of people already in the chat with us already. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand and let us know your predictions for WWE NXT No Mercy. And if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on this Saturday's big show on Peacock, and give us your predictions and give us your thoughts on last night's NXT with the TNA Invasion, the go-home show ahead of No Mercy. Let us know what you thought about that in the live chat as well. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to make sure your comment is highlighted on screen and show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support. We got our main man, Zach, in the chat, who says National Cherries Jubilee Day, SP3 and Shaddy.
Yo, he comments on here frequently too?
Yes, he does.
He's
every stream, and he tells us what day it is.
This is my guy. He does it every stream that I'm on Wrestling Republic for the daily. Salute to Zach. Like, he teaches me something new every day. I'm always anticipating his national blank day comments. Salute to Zach Minger, man.
Absolutely. He's teaching me that every day is someday.
Yeah, for sure. He made, like, the day it was National Burger Day, I was like, yeah, I need to get a burger now because he said that. You know, like, a couple of them days, I had to go get something to eat just because he, like, put the bug in my ear. I was like, you know what? I need to do that because it is national that day.
It is national that day. I would feel wrong if I didn't do this. We got Fire Jerry Finisher who says same, especially after that G-Vul prediction I called. Yes, Fire Jerry Finisher will wish hell upon us New Japan fans and wanted us to live through a evil G1 winner.
Salute to Ben Allison. That is his favorite wrestler, I think. I think he's a big Evil fan. You know, he's got posters all over his room. Jokes.
I'm hoping you're being sarcastic.
I'm joking. He dislikes him a lot too. But I gotta,
good.
You know,
good.
I wish for a
good man, Ben.
Yeah.
Good man, that Ben. Andre seems like he liked the TNA Invasion last night. What did you think about the TNA Invasion? I will put my thoughts out first.
Wow. I'm gonna be honest with you.
One of the worst wrestling invasions I've ever seen in my life.
We said it yesterday on the show. It was so lazy. Like it was done so lazy. Like you had all of these people just popping up throughout the show, and they were just sitting in attendance, and it just took, you know, Trick to smack Santana, and then everybody just like it. I feel like there could have been more oomph to it. Like it felt super like telegraph. Like we knew what was gonna happen. Honestly, like I was telling you off air, and I was off the air last night. I said it too. And I swear, man, I used to be the NXT guy. People think I'm an NXT hater now on the show because I'm like the Skip Bayless of just nah boo boo. It's gonna be okay, guys. We'll be all right. It was lazily done. I think it's just way too telegraphed. I think it's funny because you have primarily most of the people that were on the show yesterday were a WWE superstar, but like that's not Xia Li. What? No, she looks like Xia Li. That's not the Iconics. That's come on. You know,
like the inspiration. Xia Brookside was in
Cedric.
WWE. Matt Cardona, who got the biggest pop of anybody there, he was in WWE already. Like, it's like TNA Invasion. Like, it's so hollow. That's the issue.
Cedric was just there a few months ago. Like he just got the TNA and you got
He
him
just
in
got
there.
released in February.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. It's one of those things where like I don't even know how I would feel going like wrestling there. I would kind of be like, all right. Like I got a lot of respect for like someone like Nemeth was in there, right? And I think Nick Nemeth has even spoke about it too. Where he's just like
he doesn't want to be involved.
I don't want to do that. Like, I mean, y'all know who I am is Dolph Ziggler over there, and I've established myself there. Now it's time to establish myself doing something completely different. You know, for Cardona, I understand because it's not Zack Ryder anymore, and he's built himself. He's a completely different person now, and I get that. And I know that there's an itch for him. I know jokes kind of tell a bit of a truth. I think he probably wants to get a opportunity to let this guy, you know, work over there. His wife is over there and whatnot. But like a lot of those people, like Cedric, I just saw you there, bro. Like it doesn't add any level of excitement. And I say this, I've said this on air before too. I think TNA doesn't have a very inspiring television product for me to watch consistently, and they don't have a very inspiring roster either, bro. Like I think
they definitely don't.
Yeah, they have a good roster. Like it's solid. Like it's not anything, you know, that is like I would say horrible. Like there's some talented dudes over there, but there's a lot of people that are just like, okay, you know. And when you mesh that with another roster, you know, outside of the incredible women that they do have in their division, it's like two of the worst rosters because one roster's development. Like it's a bunch of dudes. Like I said this, man, like the WWE's big problem they potentially have is the fact that the men's division is so uninspiring because it's just a bunch of dudes that couldn't make it on a practice squad on the NFL roster trying to be pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Like it's something like like you said, like the whole invasion was so telegraphed. Like I did the Fightful review for NXT Homecoming, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen an invasion where they just told you, they just kept screaming to you, they're invading next week. They're invading next week. They're on social media, they're complaining, they're invading next week. We got a title versus title match. It's gonna end in a DQ because they're invading next week. That's basically what they told us on Homecoming. And then they basically hit us over the head with it throughout the whole entire show last night. Like, oh, you see, oh, who was that in the background? Was that Matt Cardona? Oh, who was that in the background? Was that Mance Warner and Steph Delander? Oh, we have a segment with Stevie Turner and Robert Stone calling Ava. We see TNA wrestlers back there. Did you invite them to be here? And then they was like, did you invite these TNA wrestlers to be here? We don't know why they're here. And then a TNA wrestler, Joe Hendry, is just in a tag team matchup.
Yeah,
and
like,
they act like he's just a
part
of the NXT roster. He's a part of the NXT roster at this point. Like,
yeah, dude, I literally was saying that salute to Andre Martin Drizzy in the comments. Because I was just like, yo, he got like an ID card to get into the facilities. Like they let him in the PC, just no problem. Like,
dude, he was a part of the intro for Homecoming last week. He was a part of the intro, and then they did a backstage segment with Bobby Roode, where Bobby Roode was like, I've held the TNA World Title and then came here to NXT, but I've also held the NXT Championship, and now that you're here at NXT, you should go after that title too. And when he said that, I was like, wait, excuse me, you said he's here in NXT? Yeah. When were y'all gonna tell us?
That's a good point. I'm not gonna lie to you. I completely forgot that he did say that to him backstage, and people just completely like it went over their heads.
It went over their head. No one even mentioned it until John Alba for Sports Illustrated. He did his due diligence, and he did the report that came out last week that Joe Hendry is finishing up with TNA, and they're basically making that transition for him to go to WWE. But I want to know, is that a part of the partnership? That would be my question to someone like a Carlos. Because if that's part of the partnership, that they get first right to someone who still has months left on his TNA deal, where they can do a transition period where he transitions from TNA to WWE, and y'all don't get anything in exchange, like y'all don't get first rights for people they released or anyone like that, like anyone they cut. Y'all don't get first rights for them. If y'all don't get anything in return, then y'all getting raped on this deal. Like, come on, man.
No,
like,
I mean,
it's really bad.
The thing is this though, like I feel that like TNA in this situation, their roster is completely like, if you want to talk about notoriety and names, they probably have more names that pop out than NXT at this moment. Like, you know, you can get like Joe Hendry's a big name in pro wrestling in general. Like, whether like I'm not the biggest Joe Hendry fan, I'll be real with you, but I understand that he's over as hell, and people like they gave the man a Mania match. So like you knew that was a thing. Like you knew I knew this was gonna be happening. When they was working with him, I was like, okay, their eyes are on Jordan Grace and their eyes is on Joe Hendry. And eventually maybe somebody else pops up. Who knows? Maybe Leon Slater builds some steam and he gets good. They'd be like, oh,
they already got eyes on Mike Santana because his deal is
yeah.
running out at the end of the year. That's why it's so dumb why they didn't put the title on him at Slammiversary, because they could potentially put the title on him at Bound for Glory, and then he's going to be here for 3 months.
Yeah, Santana's one that I'm curious how he works in the WWE, because I think he's talented, but I don't know if he like will get over on the main roster with the main roster fans just yet. Like he would have to build some legitimate steam if he was working in NXT. And that's the thing, bro. NXT got like we'll talk about it too. Like there's guys like a person like a Ricky, right? Like I think Ricky he could be that dude if given an opportunity, but like he don't got nobody besides the guy he's facing this weekend and Trick. Like those are maybe the two people that's gonna make him feel important. Like he's basically there to help give a bunch of dudes who don't know how to wrestle a rub and make them feel like legitimate threats. Like he was wrestling Buddy from LFG, who's ass. I'm sorry, the dude is ass. Jarvis, or what's his name? Jasper
Don't
Troy?
don't do that to my boy Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy, he's green. He's green. We all know he's green. I don't think he's ass though. He got potential. What they call potential.
Potential. He's like everyone. He's like all the dudes in Dark State except for my man Saquon Sugar, who's from DC. And that's my guy. I want him to win both titles. If you are from DC and you like, he legitimately talked like a dude from Southeast, bro. I gotta say this real quick. This is kid that's a content creator that comes up on my For You page, right? He's like a little kid. He's like 13, 14 years old or whatever. And he makes like wrestling, like he was like interviewing some indie wrestler on his thing. And he said he's got a little country accent. He's like, I was trying to get an interview with Saquon Sugars, and he had to tell me I had to break all the money out my piggy bank to get it.
That's funny.
And I was dying laughing, bro. It was the funniest shit I've ever. I was like, he would say something like that to him, but not. Okay, Jasper's not ass. He's definitely green, but I don't know, bro. I like what's the difference with him than all of those dudes, like as wrestlers, like characters aside, like him, Hank and Tank, all the Dark State dudes, like they're just a bunch of big football players that try to do the same. You know, they're gonna give you a spine buster, they're gonna give you a body slam, run the ropes, do all of that. Like they're trying to, you can't get Oba Femi, you can't get 10 Oba Femis. There's only one Oba Femi. You can't get 10 Braun Breakers. There's only one Braun Breaker. So you gotta have some diversity. If you're doing this WWE ID stuff, then get some of these guys that are independent wrestlers, like how Javon Evans was, right? Like some of the dudes that I don't watch Evolve, but I know there's some ID talent on there that I would probably have more faith developing and potentially blossoming with that same resources you're giving. Like a person that know how to wrestle, given the WWE resource and coaching and all of that, that you know they're gonna eventually pop at some point, and it's gonna be a lot faster. Like instead, they put all them resources to people that don't know how to wrestle, and you have situations where people are dipping out now, like this whole situation with old girl from Toxic Attraction, or Fatal Influence.
Jasmine Nix, who was attacked backstage and written off, apparently rejected a contract. No, that whole situation is the WWE is cheap right now. WWE don't want to pay people on the lower end and just expect everybody to take the first offer that they got. I don't think it has anything to do with like oh, they're not positioning the right people. And I think a lot of the WWE ID talent, there are talent that are going to transition to NXT, like Vanity Project, Swipe Right,
Mhm.
Sean Legacy, Keanu Carver, Marcus Mathers. But a lot of the ID talent are just talent that they signed to monopolize the independent scene.
Independence,
That's why
exactly.
that's why they have the partnership with TNA, is to monopolize TNA. That's why they acquired Lucha Libre AAA is
Yeah.
to monopolize Lucha Libre wrestling. This is what WWE is doing. They're in a process of starting their globalization again. And we've been watching it happen, and I don't think a lot of people realize what's happening.
Oh yeah, no, it's evident as anything. They've yeah, I mean, and it's look, man, people don't ever want to call a spade a spade. People call me. I've been told on chats on our reels that I'm paid for by Tony Khan. I've looked at my bank account again today. I haven't got a check from TK just yet. So, but I like how they do business and I like how they do operations and stuff like that, man. It's for the wrestling fan. It's for the people that enjoy it. Sure, they don't have the cutesy couple matches that people want to see on Palooza. That's fine, man. It's cool. That's all
La
right.
la
But
la la palooza.
yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but salute to Becky Lynch, always the book over there, always giving my guy the shout out every week.
My dear friend, Rebecca Quinn.
Yeah, man. That's still like I don't dislike WWE. I like some of the stuff, man. That like the best thing that ever happened this week was the main event on Raw and the closing segment, man. Like Oscar saved the WWE this past week, and there won't be anything better that they do this week on their television than what Oscar did. So salute to Oscar.
There you go. But we're here to talk about NXT No Mercy this Saturday, as always, with our pay-per-view previews. 0 to 10. What is your hype level, your anticipation level for this Saturday's PLE in Florida? Shot.
So I was telling you earlier, bro, I almost forgot this was happening this Saturday. So I can't say I'm super excited, but I'll there's a couple matches that I'm excited for off of the in-ring stuff. So I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, I was gonna go with a 5 out of 10. I'm at a 5 out of 10. They didn't do the best job of building the show up, but I think most of this card will deliver, as most NXT PLEs does. And this is the first NXT PLE since, I believe, Stand and Deliver, that is not going head to head or on the same day as an AEW pay-per-view. And thank God for that. Now I can actually focus on NXT.
Yeah, man. Like that was always the toughest thing because we usually do our review show after. And I was like, man, you really making me miss All In, aren't you? You really don't want me to watch All In. That is crazy. Nah, but I'm happy they're not, there's no counter programming this weekend. The full focus can be on them. And yeah, man, like you said, there's some good the build hasn't been great, but there are some matches that spark my interest. So I'm excited to talk about it.
And one of those would be the opening matchup here, as we're going to get a weaponized steel cage matchup. Jordan Grace will go one-on-one with Blake Monroe. When Blake Monroe showed up in WWE this past summer in June, all the attention was on her. She thrusted herself right into the spotlight on NXT, and she drew the ire of Fatal Influence. Through drawing the ire of Fatal Influence, she made an alliance with Jordan Grace, which led to the two women teaming up at the Great American Bash to defeat the Fatal Influence. We got to see these two women bond and come together and form a friendship that was quickly broken the day after the Great American Bash, when Blake Monroe cost Jordan Grace the NXT Women's Championship. Over the last couple of months, we've seen these women going back and forth. They faced each other at Heatwave, the last PLE, with Blake Monroe picking up her biggest win yet since coming to WWE against Grace. But now Grace is looking for revenge after bloodying Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe says that she has unleashed the woman from hell. Can the woman from hell overcome Jordan Grace and put her behind her in this weaponized steel cage? Or can Jordan finally get her comeuppance on her former friend here? Shad, what have you thought about the rivalry here between Jordan and Blake, and who wins on Saturday?
So the build up hasn't been the best. Just because it's been, I don't know, there hasn't been a lot to sink your teeth in. I think both women are so talented, and I feel like the story could be told a little bit better. But I'll give them a little credit. This has been one that's been kind of going from when she initially came in to what it is now. Obviously, they had that last match, but I feel like like this should be a blood feud going into it, right? And obviously, we saw that little moment, but I feel like this should be a little bit more like, a little deeper of a bag. And maybe I'm spoiled because I've seen, Blake do incredible stories at her old workplace, right? And I know she can tell. I mean, a woman can tell stories better than a lot of women in the entire company right now. To be real with you, she's shown that she's a incredible talent, and I feel like they are, handicapping her a little bit, right? They got the training wheels on her bike right now, and I don't think she needs the training wheels. I feel like that's the story. It feels safe, but it doesn't feel like what you can get to. It feels you're comparing a friendship turning sour, which we compare it to her and Storm. And it's not apples and oranges because it's pro wrestling. One is a little bit more, something that you find intrigued in compared to that. So I feel like they could, pay a little bit more attention to what she does and build her more into it, have a little bit more faith into it. But I'm excited from the last couple weeks in that vignette with the woman from hell coming back. I feel like she needs to be that conniving, evil woman that she is. That's the dish that Blake Monroe is served best. She has the star power to be one of the biggest heels on that roster in a division that is earning for a superstar after losing Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne. Like, Blake can come in there, establish herself, and really set the tone. So it's gonna be something of interest on that. Jordan Grace, I hate it because she's someone that should be booked strong too, right? Just because she is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, and she's just a dominant brute force. But to me, it's looking like it's Blake's match to lose. Like, she's not gonna lose that match. It's for her to win. I think the weaponized steel cage, it allows her to really get into a different bag, really put a lot of pain in. I hope we get to see some bloodshed, hopefully. But I'm going with Blake, man. I got her pulling out the victory versus Jordan.
I've been quite disappointed by both of these women's bookings since coming to NXT. I thought when Jordan Grace came here, she was going to be slotted right next to the likes of Julia and Stephanie Vaquer as like the big three for the NXT women's division. Grace and Julia and Vaquer's runs in NXT were very short-lived, and they went up to the main roster. But you would think with them going up to the main roster and as well as Roxanne Perez, you would think that Jordan Grace would be next in line. But no, they went for the seniority of the super senior, Jacy Jayne, and now she's facing Lola Vice on this card. Now you got Blake Monroe in play. She could get up here. Jada Parker is still gaining momentum. She's going to be in the play. And it just seems like Jordan Grace keeps getting passed over, which is the reason why I'm probably going to go with Jordan Grace to win here, because I feel like she needs this win more than Blake Monroe. I feel like they are still in the building process of what they want to do with Blake Monroe. I'm not willing to say, oh, it's a bust or it was a bad decision for Blake Monroe to sign with WWE, because it's only been 3 months. I'm willing to give her more time to get her foot settled. For now, though, it hasn't been the best start. This rivalry has had a lot of missteps. I thought the whole heel turn was very rushed and didn't have the effect that they probably wanted from it. I thought the promo about Jordan Grace and how she used to look was just embarrassing and just poor writing and just completely
some elementary school stuff.
It totally changed the tone of how people view this whole rivalry. And thirdly, this rivalry should be for the NXT Women's Championship. Why are we wasting time? Why are we having this fake blood feud when there's not going to be any blood. I know you said you're hoping there's blood in this match. There's not going to be any blood. It's WWE. It's not going to be any blood. Unless it's Cody Rhodes or CM Punk or Drew McIntyre, it ain't going to be no blood. So, yeah, I'm hoping for the best for this matchup. I expect this to be good because their match at Heatwave was very good and would have been up there as far as the match of the night if it wasn't for Javon and Oba in the main event. But I think they could steal the show here on this show. But I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace to get the win.
Hey, man, I'm not mad at it. I think you got a point. She does need a victory, and you're not wrong. I mean, honestly, this is someone you had like come out during Royal Rumbles as a TNA talent, and you saw the reception that she got from the crowd, from the surprise. The funny thing is this is a tale of two coins, right? For Blake, I think the best thing that she has going right now is I think they found her theme song. Like the theme song is like, it pops, it's catchy, whatever. The little the entrance is cool. We're looking at the vanity mirror. They did not do Jordynne Grace justice with this new theme song at all.
Her theme song sucks.
It's
Her theme
horrible.
song sucks. But I also think that Blake Monroe's entrance and theme song are a little overrated. It's a little overrated.
Okay.
People are raving about it. Like, oh my god, this presentation is so much better than AEW. Oh, she looks like a super, and I'm just like, it's the character.
Her presentation is her presentation. She's that. You can't people need to. You give credit to the wrestler on that more than anything. She is a star, so she'll always look like a star wherever you put her. Right? Like we got to give wrestlers credit at that point. Like it ain't one, it's the same person. I mean, ain't much of a difference on the character or anything like that. Like I just think hers is a little bit more like it's like sitcomish prior to like this last little vignette thing, but it feels like it's sitcom.
Very I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes,
very I Dream of Jeannie.
That's a good callback. I like that. It is very bewitched. Yeah.
Then we got another grudge match on the card here, as it's going to be Josh Briggs going one-on-one with Javon Evans. This match was added to the card on last night's NXT. These two men have been going at it over the last couple of weeks. Of course, Josh Briggs was in the front row when Javon put his body on the line and came up short against Oba Femi at Heatwave for the NXT Championship. It was once again Briggs who interrupted Javon when he addressed the NXT universe after his loss and then attacked Javon, chokeslamming him through a open chair. This led to him facing Javon one-on-one, where he used his steel chain to pick up the victory. Josh Briggs, before our eyes over the last few months, has become one of the most hated heels in all of NXT, regularly getting the loudest boos of any star on the show, and he's facing one of the most popular stars on the NXT roster this Saturday. I expect this matchup to be here for Javon to get his win back. I don't like the feud just feels very disjointed. It feels like we did an angle. It set up a match on TV. We did the match, had no follow-up on Homecoming outside of Javon talking to Sammy backstage, but there was no match made there. And then we got a vignette on last night's show where we found out it's Javon versus Josh. And I was just like, okay, but you could have done this a lot better. There could have been more an actual coherent story that led to the rematch at the pay-per-view to me. But what have you thought about the build to this matchup? I'm going with Javon. Who you going with?
This build-up sucks. I'll be honest with you. It's not been anything worth for me to be excited for. Josh Briggs is in a huge holding pattern, bro. He's a guy that I feel like has been stuck in NXT for the longest time, and I don't know what the long haul, what the long gain is for him. I don't know if you see him as a single star. The guy there's talent in there. There's a guy who can work. He's a big man. He's a solid hand to have. But character-wise and everything they push within him, I don't know if it's there as a singles guy. I feel like the tag team stuff has always been his cup of tea, whether it was with Brooks or whether it was with Inamura. he plays a good hand on that. As a solo competitor in a division that is lacking, he's just someone that isn't kind of sticking out. And with this feud, like, I know he's getting the boos and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel like he's like some massive, like, top tier heel on the roster. He's just a guy that people don't want to see like on their screen, and they don't want him beating Javon Evans more than anything. So if he's doing his job there, he's doing his job there. I got Javon winning as well. You mentioned the Sami Zayn thing. I would have just done the open challenge with him on this card.
That's what I wanted, and they didn't even do it. They just did a backstage segment. Like, what are we doing, NXT?
Yeah, like you get a big time name to sell tickets because that is Sami Zayn. That's someone who is over, and two, that's a hell of a match. That's another, like, you got to keep giving this kid these like matches like that to keep building him there. And even if he doesn't win, it's fine. That stays with the role as him as this like babyface kind of underdog type of character. But like, yeah, it doesn't do much for either guy, to be honest with you, because I don't expect Briggs to win, and I don't think he's positioning himself anywhere higher after this feud. And this is just another guy for Javon to go against. It's just kind of, adding another tally to what he's done on the show. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I got Javon winning as well.
I do like how NXT is giving Javon non-title feuds to build him up, because we know that eventually his story is going to end with him being the one who dethrones Oba Femi, but you got to keep him busy. You got to keep him in important things, and I think they do a good job of that. I loved his program with Ethan Page earlier this year, and I did really enjoy the matchup with Josh Briggs on TV, so I expect this one to be really good as well.
Yeah, no, the match is going to be great. I do expect it to live up to being a good match. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think, like, Briggs is someone, like I said, he puts in good work. Like, he had a great showing at the Mania weekend at Stand and Deliver when it was him, Oba, and Dijak. I think he looked great there. He's looked very good in tag team picture. Like, just him as a character, I don't know what he's going to do, bro. Like, I don't see him like being the NXT champion at any point. Maybe he can.
Well, I don't think he's meant for that. I think that he's found a role here as the heel gatekeeper for like the upper mid card, and I think that's probably the best role for him right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our first championship matchup on this card. I don't really have much to say because didn't think this was done very well either. But it was the Speed Championship tournament for the Speed Women's Championship. It's going to be Lainey Reed, who defeated Candice LeRae last night in the semifinals of the tournament. She moves on to the finals, where she will go one-on-one with Sol Ruca for the WWE NXT Speed Championship this Saturday at No Mercy. Candice LeRae defeated Xia Brookside of TNA. Lainey Reed defeated Fabi Apache of AAA. Then she beat SmackDown's Candice LeRae, so she's gotten victories over a woman from the AAA roster, a woman from the SmackDown roster. Now she attempts to win her first championship gold in WWE. What have you thought about Lainey Reed since they've introduced her on NXT? And who do you think wins this matchup?
So I actually like Lainey Reed. I think she is someone that has been pretty, like, she's impressed me given the opportunities that she's had from the beginning to what she's doing now. I think she has a look, a presence to her. I think she works pretty well. I think she's got a good amount of like power to her move set and whatnot. And obviously they've kind of, it seems like they're positioning her as a heel. She might team up with Jacy, Jayne and company, replacing Jasmine Nix after she was sent to the gulag last night. And it can be in that factor. And for that, I got her winning this Speed Championship against Sol Ruca, just because I don't think Sol Ruca needs this belt at all. I don't even know why this belt is back in this position. Where is the men's speed title also? Like, why isn't that also a thing too? I have so many questions about the speed title booking. I'm whatever about it. I don't like the concept of the speed title because unless you have like some luchadors that are going to do, or people that are going to work a crazy fast pace where they can get a shit ton of moves in that 3 minutes or whatever, that's fine. But like for this, it looks like it's Sol Ruka does add the benefit towards it, but I think I'm gonna go with Laney winning it somehow, getting it under Sol Ruka and kind of helping it be a title that kind of boosts her up, because it does seem like they have a little bit of a vision for her to be somebody in this division. Like they got a little bit of merit on her name for that. So yeah.
9 times out of 10, I would usually agree with you. I would go with Laney Reed, but Laney Reed, booking wise and character wise, had just felt like a team move Fallon Henley to me. So I'm not as big on her as you are. I think that there is potential there. I just haven't really seen it. So I hope I see it in this matchup. But I tend to believe 5-minute matchup is not the place where she's gonna be able to showcase her stuff in the right way. And since the title is just coming to NXT, I think that you need to establish it. And I think the best person to establish it is Sol Ruka. And I wouldn't want another double champion to just lose the title on like their first defense, since that seems to be the theme with everybody who becomes a double champion on NXT. They just lose the title as soon as they become double champion or relinquish the title for no goddamn reason. So hopefully Sol Ruka wins here.
I'm always gonna root for Soul, but I just feel like it's Laney's time. But I respect it. And it is true, man. Like the Vaquer, her losing is always the head scratcher.
I'll never forgive them for that. They wasted my time. But let's talk about another title match here for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page will defend against Tavion Heights. These two men have been feuding over the North American Championship over the last 2 months. They faced in a mixed tag team matchup at Heatwave, with Ethan Page and his tag team partner Chelsea Green picking up the win over Tavion Heights and Tyra May Steele. Heights has stayed on the pursuit of the North American Championship since then and defeated Ethan Page in a flag match 2 weeks ago to earn this opportunity. He earned it and got the opportunity thanks to an assist from Damian Priest, who asked Ava for this matchup here. And then Tavion got the last laugh on Ethan Page as Ethan was distracted with his issues with El Deal, Dr. Wagner Jr., and challenged him to step into a ring for an impromptu matchup with him as he was in the crowd again on NXT last night. But knowing that Ethan Page would be distracted with Dr. Wagner Jr. the third, Tavion had a plan as the Dr. Wagner Jr., or who we thought was Dr. Wagner the third, tapped out Ethan Page in mere seconds with an ankle lock. He then took off the mask to reveal that it was Tavion the entire time. So Tavion now has an impromptu victory as well as the flag match victory over Ethan Page. Can he get his third straight win over the champion and become the new North American champion at No Mercy? I think they've done a fairly decent job since the Heatwave mixed tag team matchup. I think that mixed tag team matchup, I don't think WWE was counting on the Canadians getting cheered more than the Americans, but I thought that they handled that as well as they could, and I think the singles portion of this rivalry has been done well. I just don't think that Tavion has the character yet to get to that next level or is ready for a championship quite yet, and they seem to be building something with Ethan Page and Miles Bourne at the same time as well. So I'm going to go with Ethan Page to retain here. What have you thought about this feud, and who wins on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I share the same thoughts. I think it's been fine. I don't think it's been anything like must-see TV, but I don't think it's been anything bad. I think the main premise of it is to the fans to get a bit more familiar of Tavion Heights outside of him prior being part of No Quarter Catch crew. I think he's a guy that has a lot of potential. I always say this. I think he's what they were expecting Gable Steveson to be as a worker, because I think he's got the in-ring ability down pat, being a former collegiate wrestler. Like the first time I ever saw him wrestle, I saw him wrestle on a main event taping on Raw in DC when he was wrestling Apollo Crews. And I wasn't familiar with him. And I was like, man, this dude is like pretty talented. And I think he's got the potential. But to your point, I think it's one, getting him familiar with the fans, even though they see him all the time, but people to have a bit of a sentiment to care about him. Because like you mentioned, the Team Canada, Chelsea Green, Ethan getting more cheers compared to Team America with him and Tyra May Still. It's one of those things where like, all right, we need to hit the drawing board and get these people in position. And I think that's why you put him in a match with Ethan Page, because Ethan Page, he's one of the best people on NXT at the moment. Like he's in a different level when it comes to character work. He's such a reliable hand in regards to working with anybody they give him. And I think that's kind of the key for it. I think Ethan Page will retain, because to what you said, I don't think he's ready yet, but it's going to be very important for Tavion to have a very strong showing against Ethan to kind of build off of that and go to whatever he does next. But yeah, I got ego in it.
Yeah, Tavion, he just needs that next edge, that different character to get there, and maybe they do something mixing it up with both of the former NQCC guys, since they seem to be in this North American title scene, and maybe we get Charlie Dempsey coming back from Japan. He gets in the mix as well. So, but for now, I think Ethan Page, I think he's right up there. He's one of the top guys in NXT with Oba Femi, with Trick Williams, with Javon Evans, with Ricky Saints. He's in that top 5 in the men's division.
Yeah, no, that's easily the top 5. Like that, they're on the top tier of it, and then there's a whole drop off after that. You know, like
there's a gap.
Yeah, the gap is very sizable. But like for him, you know, to what we were saying earlier, like, man, this is a guy I think coming in from AEW to NXT, I think he's one of the few AEW to WWE people that has gotten significantly better for what he's done to his career prior.
I've said this multiple times. He's the second best AEW to WWE move behind Cody. Like
100%.
Punk was basically it was a straight line. He was the number 1 guy in AEW. He's now number 2 or 3 in WWE. He's still a top star. Nothing's really changed. He hasn't been elevated by going to WWE. Not at all. Jade Cargill
is also
got better presentation, but I think that they focus more on her weaknesses than her strengths. You can say if you consider Stephanie Vaquer, maybe she's in the conversation, but I don't consider her an AEW to WWE signing. So yeah, and Lexus King, he's better than what he was as Brian Pillman Jr., but it's not as good as Ethan Page. Ethan Page is on another level.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Punk is Punk. I mean, Punk's a legend at the end of the day. We've been seeing him wrestling for the longest time. I won't even like put him too much into it, but I agree. I think it's the second after Cody. I think those are the 2 guys that came, and you can see the light switch. It's not even the light switch. I think it's just like opportunities, and it's just being able to do something else. AEW's roster on the men's side is just crazy stacked. Like it's hard. It's difficult. There's a lot of talented people on their roster that do get lost in the shuffle just because it's dog eat dog world. Like you got to try to stick out to get an opportunity. So for him, he wasn't given opportunities. He went to a smaller playing field, and he's been able to show why he is a talented guy and he's shining. So it's great for him.
Yeah, and he seems ready-made for the main roster. So we'll see when they pull the trigger on that. But we got our final 2 matches, our top 2 title matches to discuss here. First, for the NXT Women's Championship, Jayne will defend against Lola Vice. Lola Vice earned this opportunity with a victory over Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker back at NXT Heatwave. Jayne has retained the NXT Women's Championship against a litany of challengers, including Jordan Grace, the aforementioned Jordan Grace. He's defended against Lainey Reed, defended against Masha Slamovich, and now she walks in hostile territory in the hometown of Lola Vice. She will try to defend the title and walk out with it one more time. I think this is it. I'm going with Lola Vice for the win. I'm going with Lola Vice, a new NXT Women's Champion. And I'm not even saying like she's going to be the person who holds it down or holds the mantle, or she's the person we've been building up to. And Jayne's just been a longer form transition champion. I honestly feel like Lola is going to be the transition champion. I think that Lola is winning the title because she's going to be the one that drops it to Blake Monroe. But I think that they've done too much work building up Lola and trying to get the fans invested into her as a person, as a character. You have to pull the trigger and have her win the title on Saturday.
Yeah, so obviously there's a running joke on NXT where I'm a super Jacy Jayne fan. I like Jacy Jayne. I think she's a reliable talent. I think they have squeezed a lot of juice more than they could thought that they can build. They got a little bit more than a jug of lemonade out of this lemon they've been squeezing out of this title reign, and there's been some good. I think the initial shock of it and her kind of playing to it, credit to her, saying like, y'all thought I was just a transitional champion, this, down the third. But I don't know where her title reign like can progress after this. Like, honestly, like there isn't a babyface on the roster that I see other than Lola at the moment. So I'm gonna agree with you. I think Lola Vice truthfully is gonna win this Saturday for that the same exact reason, because I think Blake is kind of in the horizon to be the world's NXT Women's Champion. But for Jacy, I feel like they've kind of given. She's had over 100 days. They did what she needed to do. She's been the focal point for her was to be that champion and to go against the whole TNA stuff and do all of that. And she did that well. Now that's over. I think we're gonna probably progress her to something else after this. But I think, like, you're right. I think Lola Vice, they're putting a lot into her as well. She's a focal point in AAA. You see her on a lot of their shows. Potentially her being the NXT Women's Champion, going there, defending it there, just having matches with it, showing out. That could be good too. And then I just think of it like this, man. It's this TKO era. I said error. It's not an error, I promise, but it could be an error. But this whole TKO, being big into like a lot of this MMA aspect, her doing Bellator, I feel like she can be a good, like, little face for that for a while. She got some star power to her. I'll go with Lola.
Yeah, it just seems like her time, like, the promo, especially the promo that she did on last night's NXT. She's come a long way. I remember that promo ahead of the first matchup with Roxanne Perez. It was one of the worst promos I saw last year. Her crying about her, her mother seeing her, like, oh my God, I hated that promo so much. I remember it so vividly. Hated it. When she brought it up, I had PTSD like that. Yeah, that promo was bad. You seem much more confident now. She's got the confidence. She feels like a pro wrestler. Let her get a run. Let her get a run, and she don't have to hold it for long. But I think that Jacy Jayne, in this reign, she was able to prove herself that she and probably toxic. I was going to say toxic attraction. Fatal influence have earned their call up to the main roster. Like, just adding a group of women from NXT, a ready-made act who have this established kind of look and presentation, identity, and entrance. That's the type of act that can work on the main roster. You put them on a Monday Night Raw, they add so much depth to the Monday Night Raw roster that needs some heels, because all they have is baby faces with Io and Rhea and Stephanie Vicaire. Yeah. They got Asuka and Kyrie now, but you need more heels as well. And you put Fatal Influence on there. Now you have a well-balanced Raw women's division, which is obviously the best women's division in WWE right now, but you can make it even better by adding a Fatal Influence. And SmackDown, don't get me started, they need the women, so throw them on SmackDown immediately, and
I was gonna say, bro,
the top title there.
SmackDown ain't got nobody, bro. You got, like, God bless my girl Mia Yim, but you got her in the little, like, hamster wheel running looking for that US title. And then you got
she ain't never winning that US title, man.
Then you got the main event picture, bro. Like, I just don't. Yeah, they need to add some. And to that point, also, like you talked about it earlier, a lot of them girls that you like. Obviously, we're talking about Jordynne Grace being overlooked. I think even Jordynne Grace being added onto SmackDown would be a big help for that division.
I don't want it to happen now. I was with it. If they pulled the trigger and pulled her on the main roster after she lost to Stephanie Vicaire in our first one-on-one opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship, then yeah, for sure, you put her on the main roster. I remember when that was the rumor that her and Jordan was going to the main roster. I was like, yeah, put her on SmackDown, have Jordan battle Julia for the Women's US Championship, and they can make that title mean something. But she's lost way too many times on NXT. Calling her up now, she's just an NXT loser on the main roster. Like, that would be the worst thing. That would be the worst thing to do for Jordan Grace right now, is call her up after this run in NXT. No.
Do you think anybody currently on that NXT roster, like, who do you think would be, like, do you think anyone on the NXT roster right now could be an instant help to the SmackDown women's roster? Or, like, do they need to pluck some people from Raw?
It's Fatal Influence. They need Fatal Influence is the act that's ready to go. If it's not Fatal Influence, if Jacy wins on Saturday, then it's Lola Vice. You put Lola Vice on the SmackDown roster. She's ready for that type of role. Even someone like a Lash Legend, she's ready to be on the main roster. Like, they have people on the NXT Women's Division that are ready for the main roster and that can help SmackDown right now. But those are the three acts. Like, Fatal Influence, not Jacy Jayne by herself. I'm talking about Fatal Influence as an act. Yeah, she needs the act. The act is what has gotten her to the point where she's at. Lola Vice, Lash Legend. Those are the ladies that are ready, that if you called them up after No Mercy, they can add something to the SmackDown scene. But you also need Bianca Belair to be back. That's a key factor that's missing on SmackDown right now. And also, just give it up with Jade Cargill. Just have Jade go for the U.S. Championship. Stop having her go for the WWE Women's Championship and have an inferior, planned out, very choreographed matches.
Oh, it hurts, bro. I really love Jade, bro. I really think she's so talented, but it's like you said earlier, right? We were talking about the movements and stuff. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, man, AEW's script on how they booked her was the best thing for her, because you hid the blemishes of the in-ring stuff, man. You kept her strong. You did the Goldberg stuff, and I don't want that to be a disrespect, because I know people will hear the word Goldberg and they think it's a
and those are only people that were born after the year 2000.
Exactly.
The people that actually lived through Goldberg, they know that's the coolest way to book a wrestler. Yeah. That's the coolest way to book a wrestler. It's just have them be this unstoppable thing. And we never really got it from a female perspective. Like, Asuka had the winning streak, but she was never like dominant the way Goldberg was. You could have done that with Jade Cargill, and they just decided not to, which is stupid.
Yeah, and now she's eating like random losses, and the thing is, the issue with it is that main event picture. Like, her and Stratton are both relatively, like, they need a vet to work with to make them look a certain way. Like, I know Tiffany has had big time showings and stuff like that, but she ain't a ringleader. She's not a Bayley. She's not a Becky. She's not a Bianca. She's not a Charlotte. It's important to have that's why these women are always in the main title picture, win or lose, because they're able to help, like, walk through the person that they're going against. Like, you need a bit of a ringleader. And I agree 100%. Bianca is her loss. It feels very, very present right now. Like, she is, I'm hopefully all the people that were trying to like say like, oh, they're over, like they're force feeding us Bianca. They're trying to treat her like they're saying she's the Cena stuff. Knock it off. The best people are booked prominently because they are the best people, and she's one of the best people on that roster. There's a reason why she's at all of these little shits that they have and for pressers and like all on ESPN and all that, is because they know that she is one of these people that everyone's like, yeah, she's one of our key figures. So
we got here in the chat the Atomic Merv, who says, but what happens to Fatal Influence after Jasmine's contract situation? It was interesting to do a mystery attack angle rather than a minor feud before she left. I don't think it was interesting. It's kind of what WWE kind of what TNA does more often
It's
than
very what
WWE.
TNA does.
It's very
so
much what
like
TNA. Someone gets attacked, they're like, oh well, they're gone now. That's basically
That's
what
the same thing
WWE
too.
did.
Remember
Oh.
NXT threw a buddy off of the bridge in the family?
Yeah. They got rid of him. They threw him with the fishes. That's the same thing they did with
Yeah.
Two Stacks or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But I think you, Shaddy, and Alexa Bliss Gamer is right in the chat. I think it's simple as they've been teasing it for weeks. Lainey Reed is going to replace her in Fatal Influence. That's the simplest thing, and that's the smartest thing they can do. So
For sure. Yeah. Salute to Jasmine Nix. I don't think it's gonna be like some big loss per se.
no, but she's gonna make a whole shit ton of money. She's gonna make way more than WWE offered her by doing OnlyFans.
For sure, yeah. She's like, people gotta understand, bro. Like, I know it's the WWE and all, but like they ain't like NXT people ain't making like millions of dollars or nothing like that. They might not even be making six figures, to be honest with you. Like, unless you're maybe one of these people that are like at the top and you're there for a little bit, like they did, like maybe with Stephanie and Jordan Grace and stuff like that. But like, nah, these athletes ain't getting. They don't make a lot of money. They put them in Florida, which is pretty cheap living and stuff like that. She probably not for Florida. She probably, I don't want to fucking live here like for the rest of my life. I want to do stuff. And you know what? I got to give her a lot of credit because I saw her video that she put on Instagram. That is one of the best things that you can kind of just like, you know, the news is out there, obviously, and people are going to make their assumptions and stuff. She's like, yo, this is what happened. Cool. Like, this is my side of the story. This is the truth of it. Let it be there. And then you don't have to ask about it no more. Like, if you rock with her, you follow what she's going to do after that. If not, I mean, she's good whatever she does, man.
Yeah. Best wishes to her for sure. But let's finish up this card here for NXT No Mercy with the main event. You see it here on the thumbnail for the NXT Championship. Oba Femi will defend against the number one contender, Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints earned this opportunity. He stepped up to Oba Femi after Oba Femi defeated Javon Evans at Heatwave last month, made it known that he was coming for the NXT Championship. Then Josh Briggs also stepped up, so Ricky had to defeat him on NXT to become the number one contender and earn this opportunity at No Mercy. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen this kind of tensious feelings between these two men, with both men having respect for one another, but also very irritable around the other man. They've gotten into brawls with one another when they were supposed to be teammates. They've gotten into very intense promo exchanges like they did on the Grayson Waller effect 2 weeks ago. Of course, Ricky had to watch and wait for the NXT Championship versus TNA World Championship matchup last night on NXT. But Oba Femi walked out with the gold thanks to a DQ finish, courtesy of Santana interfering and starting the whole big TNA invasion angle there. So taking the TNA invasion out of this, which I don't know, it could be a factor in this matchup. You never know with how much they're going to focus on that, and especially on this show here. But I expect this to get a clean finish. What have you thought about the build between Oba Femi and Ricky Saints, and who walks out NXT champion?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good build. Oba Femi is one of the guys that I got my full attention and I'm invested on Tuesday nights. I mean, he's just a big time star, man. He talks with such presence and whatnot, and he's the baddest man on the roster. Like, you have to go through him to do anything, and he's been the like incredible world champion throughout his reign. I'm excited for this because this is what you sign up for if you're Ricky Saints. You want to go against like a person that is at the top of the division, right? This is gonna get your excitement level, man. Like, you're not having to do, wrestle somebody who may be green. You don't have to wrestle someone you're familiar with in AEW, like how he did with Ethan Page. You go against Oba Femi, man, and this is where you kind of see the measuring stick between both of these guys. It's like you're Oba is gonna go against the hot shot guy who signed over here, and he gets to go against the big time champion. And I think the in-ring stuff, I think it's gonna be a great match, man. I think both guys always deliver when it comes to matches. And I'm very, very excited for it. My favorite thing about the invasion stuff last night, bro, was Ricky Saints kind of, walking through, looking at the title. Then Oba Femi comes and sees it, and you just see him look face to face at the belt. So I'm hyped for it. I can't bet against Oba Femi, bro. He's undeniable. He is just too much of a force. Ricky is still a little bit new here. I don't even know if he touches the NXT World Championship, to be honest with you. It's one of those type of things. I feel like you don't need him to. You kind of just let his star power be his star power to kind of blend the show together. But yeah, I got Oba Femi retaining, man. This is just another tally for him on what is a very iconic reign, I must say. He's doing some great stuff as champion.
Yeah, I expect this match to be very good. I expect Ricky to probably have his best performance since coming to NXT in February. Oba Femi just always delivers on these premium live events. I think it's a regular occurrence that Oba Femi has the best matchup at the NXT PLEs, whether it was Heatwave last month against Javon Evans, whether it was Inomura at the Great American Bash, the stand and deliver 3-way with Trick and Javon. Like, he just continues to deliver every time out, no matter who's the opponent. And I expect Ricky Saints to be highly motivated and to be working with a chip on his shoulder. And I wouldn't be surprised if the loser of this matchup gets called up to the main roster, because these are two guys that are high on my list as being ready for the main roster. Like Ricky Saints, there was the rumors of him potentially being the newest member of the Vision, which I didn't really like that much. I'll be honest with you. I like him more of being introduced as a babyface and being aligned with Cody, playing off of their real life friendship, and then eventually turning heel on Cody. I think that if they do the Larry Sabisco, Bruno Sammartino story of mentor, mentee, and then eventually the mentee has enough of being in the shadow of the mentor, I think that's a stronger story and a stronger start for Ricky than him just being the person in the Vision who's going to take the falls. I feel like that's better for Ethan Page. I feel Ethan Page can take some falls for the Vision and still get his heat back on the mic. I feel like Ricky Saints, he needs his own type of introduction outside of a group on the main roster. So I wouldn't mind that if he loses here and then gets called up there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Saints eventually does become NXT champion, depending on how long they want him to stay on the brand. If he stayed on the brand past him losing this matchup, then he is going to become NXT champion in my eyes. Whether it's he has to wait till Javon's champion and then he turns heel and we get a heel Ricky Saints NXT championship run, which sign me up for. But I think that eventually we are going to get that. But yeah, it's obvious. Oba Femi, he's going to retain. Oba Femi's going to hold his title until they decide Javon Evans is ready.
Yeah, which is the right thing to do. Obviously, that I feel like the moment of whoever gets the title off of him needs to feel like a big moment, and that would be it. But yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the easier ones to call, it being the main event. But like I said, that doesn't mean anything towards it. I think it's going to be a phenomenal match. And honestly, if Ricky wins, I wouldn't be upset either. Like, if it means that Oba is going to be onto the main roster, I'll be hyped for that. But like, I beg them though, when he does go there, you need to, like, this booking that you give him in NXT.
Or is it?
Did it cut off?
Oh no, you're good.
Oh, you good? My bad. He needs to be booked prominently on a main roster too, man. Like, he needs to just be that big deal there as well.
Yeah, they have to present him as like the biggest star from NXT, and immediately, like, as soon as possible, put a championship on him. They need to book him like you booked Gunther when he first came to the main roster, basically with Oba. But that is the card for NXT No Mercy this Saturday. I feel like, despite our feelings on the build, it will be a good show by the end of Saturday night. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a review for No Mercy that will probably be available for Patreon backers and members of the channel. So be on the lookout for that. But we want to thank everyone who joined us live. Thank everyone who's watching us on demand for our WWE NXT No Mercy 2025 preview. And a big thank you to Shaddy. Thank you so much for joining us, Shad. We appreciate you always joining us, bringing your insight, bringing your knowledge. So let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when you got going on and when they'll see you on their YouTube screens again.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, thank you again. It's always a pleasure to be here, man. It's always fun to do these shows. And I'm always honored for it. If y'all want to follow me, man, OcDMV703 on X, and Shad, SHADTAWKS Graps on Instagram, Shad Talks Graps. I'm on the Wrestling Republic YouTube page so much. So just like, comment, subscribe on there. We'll be on specifically me. I'll be back on Friday doing the daily broadcast, but I'll also be there Saturday night after NXT is done with the off the air crew, myself, Drizzy, and Clark, reviewing No Mercy. So y'all hear me talk more about NXT. But man, thank you again, bro. It is always a pleasure.
Thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate you. And I knew I had to call you because you're an expert when it comes to NXT, covering the show on Off the Air. So go out of your way to support Shad over on Wrestling Republic, over on Off the Air, and follow him on your social media so you can hear what he's talking about on your Twitters and Instagrams and all of that. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. That's the best way to support us when we are not live here. And check out all the great content we got right here on the channel right now, like our AEW All Out 2025 review with myself, Professor Chris, True Draw Josh, and Jayne News from earlier this week. Check out our WWE WrestlePalooza 2025 review with myself and Robert D. Felice of Fightful. Check out Rated Raw review from yesterday, reviewing this week's Monday Night Raw with myself and Top Guy JJ. And I will be back tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with AE Ramble reviewing tonight's post all out edition of AEW Dynamite with Jimmy Macaram. So join us for that. Friday, we got another pay-per-view preview for NJPW Destruction in Kobe. So your favorite Sanal and J News will be here for that. And Saturday, we got the flagship podcast. So stay on track for that. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But for Shaddy, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our WWE NXT No Mercy 2025 preview. We are signing off until next time.